Those person's asking, why doesn't Valve do this where they do cloud gaming for the demos? Because it makes no money. Cloud gaming is the worst financial choice you can make. Microsoft could do it because and Google could do it because they have data centers everywhere. You have to have data centers around the world because they only work. Right? So when I talk about like why cloud gaming works for me, it's because the data center is literally like, I think my internet goes out of the data center this comes from, like that same area down in Kent, Washington. Like it's not for, like, how you do when you go to Google Maps and it's like, hey, we think you're over here, and I'm always out in Kent because that's where my internet comes out of. That's not where I am. That's not where I am. Oh, Kent's fine, but I'm just not from there. But like, you have to have data centers everywhere, and then you have to have a computer for everybody there. Right? It doesn't make any financial sense. Cloud gaming doesn't scale. The only time it makes money or makes sense is when you don't use it. Right? It's one of those horrible businesses, right? If everybody used it, it wouldn't make money. And that's why like the NVIDIA one has so much problems. And also the NVIDIA one, they don't have data centers in the same place everywhere around the world. Maybe they do now that they're the second best, biggest company in the world. I don't know. Third, fourth, fifth, something. They're top 5, man. Proud NVIDIA stock owner. Ooh. But no, yeah, right. That's why, because it just makes no financial sense. It's crazy. Cloud gaming is crazy expensive for data centers all around the world that you need to have. Because think about it, if it's not by you, like everyone who talks bad about cloud gaming, I get it, because you don't have a data center right by you. I do. It's awesome. I have gigabit or whatever fiber right to the data center that it's at, or right next to it, right? Because they're all down in the same area. Like even Valve has their servers down there, I think. Right, this is where everybody puts them in Seattle area, and so yeah, it works great for me, but not for everybody. And then the data centers that everybody else, like just one of the weird untold things that why Valve was so successful early on against everyone else trying to download games is just the amount of data that gets pushed around for downloading games is insane. Early on, a man, Mike Dunkel, since passed, so he's a really good guy. He went around and he brokered a lot of deals with ISPs all around the world. Like, just this of like, hey, we're going to push the data to you, and then you're going to push the data down to your consumers, right? And that was the leg up Valve had over everybody for the longest time until data got cheap everywhere, right? Was that they had data centers essentially around the world, but they didn't own them. Everybody else owned them, and they just helped them provide the data and give the downloads to the games, right? Because think about how fast your Steam download is. It's pretty good. It's pretty good all around the world, but now we're used to that. Like, that's the default. But it's not the default to have like the, I don't know the correct terms to use, but sub-millisecond latency and all of that for your connection to be able to do cloud gaming, right? And so that's why it's not going to work. That's why they'll never do it. They would never do it. And it never scales, and it never makes any sense to do it, to be clear. It just is a bad deal. Microsoft, though, is probably one of the few companies where it's not a bad deal because they own everything in there, right? So